Anei taku karikia hei timatanga mā tātou. Nau mai te Manawa Māui, Māui Tipua, Māui Tahito. Māui Aroto, Māui Awaho, Māui Whakatoi, Māui Whakaaweawe. Māui te whakatumatuma, Māui te wānanga. Nau mai te Māori Māui kia tū, kia oho, kia mātāra, tūturu o whiti whakamaua, kia tīna, haumi e hui e, tai ki e. Tēnā koutou whānau, I'm Atawhai. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm up there. What do I do? I've been in the public service for 30 years, so I'm no young fella. I'm going to share some of my thoughts, and they fit nicely in with the kōrero about that Kiri Kōwhai has given us, because I think it's so fitting. I follow her because the challenges she's raising, this is the guts of those of us who work in the public service, whether you're in the big four, you're consulting like I am at the moment, or you're deep within the Crown system. All of us need to find ways and means to engage and connect and help the Crown be a better treaty partner. So even though I invented the 5 whys for engagement purposes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a helicopter, try to connect with Kiri Kōwhai's kōrero, and hopefully drop some useful pearls of wisdom that I've accumulated over the many years. So, nā wai, he tino kōrero no te kāinga no te tairāwhiti nā wai koe, that kind of, who do you belong to? Who are you from? And like Kiri Kōwhai talked about being a good mokopuna, kia mōhio pai koe ki tō iti, how do we be a good descendant? And to me, that's understanding your whakapapa or your identity story. So we believe that if we know where we're from, our tātou, we will travel well to the destination and bring our people with us. So this kōrero is really about our roots being grounded, having a strong tūranga waiwai and foundation. Now I'm going to show you a little photo here of a rangatahi group that I took to Ngāti Porou, to the iwi chairs hui. And a lot of these rangatahi, you know, they've come to our tūhono hui. I'll talk to you later about tūhono. And this opportunity came up. So what do? As a good ancestor, you say, hey, let's take the young ones to the iwi chairs. Heaps of whānau have not, managers and leaders in the public service haven't been to iwi chairs. So we took this rangatahi group. The thing that got me about this group was I discovered, and this shouldn't be a surprise to Atawhai, that there's lots of our rangatahi who are in the public service who are still searching for their identity. They might know they're Māori, they might know they have whakapapa, but they don't know their story. And I suppose one of my key tips and hints to our rangatahi is, me mōhio koe nā wai koe. It's really, really important that you get that grounding and understanding about where you come from, because it's those roots and it's that groundedness to te ao Māori that makes you a valuable asset within the state services. So, kia kaha koutou, and I think that is in line with what Kiri Kōwhai has advised us. The next thing about kōwai, so I'm going to talk about work identity. What have I learned? I've learned that you're really privileged to be in these jobs. I'm in Wellington. I'm driving to Lambton Key or other places over this past month, and I see our people. They're homeless. Some of them are aimless, but they are our people. Some of them are not on very much money, and yet there's all of us in the public service making good money. So I'm always reminded whenever I go past the protest site or I see the protest people and I see my own whānau within that group, how are we maximising our privilege and our roles to do the best for our people. So my thing to my kids and to everybody, be excellent at your job, master your tools, learn everything to not only being a good ally, but helping the Crown be a good partner. But I also want to raise this challenge that Glenn Webber shared with a number of TPK managers. I was lucky enough to facilitate a management hui last year. And Glenn Webber, who's a Crown negotiator, said this, we're all the Crown. You know, whenever we are helping make policy, regulatory or funding decisions, we are the Crown. The Crown is not just a Pākehā. It is whoever is at that table or advising the people at that table. So whether we're PwC, EY, Deloitte, Kāinga Order, OT, TPK or Justice, If we're doing Crown work, we're the Crown. I think what I like about Glenn's reality check is how are we in our privileged jobs doing the best to make the Crown, as Kitty has challenged us, a better listener. How are we doing the translation and helping our Pākehā colleagues understand why the work that our people are doing is awesome? How are we being insiders that are enabling our people to get what they deserve? So, that's number two. More way. My thing is always, everyone talks about do the mahi, get the treats. My thing is more about, no. Do the mihi and the manaki, the mahi will flow. And then maybe. It's really important that we are Māori in our roles. So we're going to have to maximize your connectedness to help that Crown be a better partner. So ask this question constantly. What are we doing? Who are we serving when we're in our roles, and helping the Crown be a better treaty partner, and making sure Māori as citizens are getting what they're due. I think it's important that we're in the room. Maybe when you're younger, I wouldn't say to you to be overly challenging. You're trying to learn your craft. But I do agree that you should start as you intend to go. So challenge is important. Speaking up, even when it's hard, is really, really important. So kia kaha koutou. I look at this. There's a cartoon of Wiri Gardner. Wiri to me is like the ultimate public servant. And he had to take the fiscal envelope out to the Māori community. Was it in the 90s? And lots of people said, sell out, that's awful, the worst thing that could ever happen. And, Widow was getting it in the media and everywhere. And I look at iwi investment now, that all came out of the fiscal envelope. And you say, hey, that was something that was tough, that Widow had to do as a Crown, as a Māori working within the Crown. But ka kite au ngā hua. And I suppose the outcome of this is, you do have to find the silver lining, the opportunity, and you got to press for it, even when other people don't see it. Māui, who's helping you? So all I want to say here is Tūhono is our Māori network that we've started. You can find it online. Keep an eye out for Tahi Manu Kapu Tea, 1,000 Cups of Tea mentoring that we're going to be running this year. So this was our launch last year. We've had a lot of support from different places. It's really important to me the older people in the public service give back to the young ones. So ko tahi mano kapu tea, please keep an eye out for that. And if you want to find our network, you can find it on here, MāoriNetworks.com. Look for Tūhono Māori Network and sign up. I think the last thing is here why. This is about our cultural identity. And I think Kitty Kōwhai has also reminded us, we've got to know our role, we've got to be a bridge, we've got to be courageous, we've got to use the tangas, hei oranga mō tātou. It's really important that we all maximize the opportunities we have in the public service as much as possible. Find out where we're from, go home, pick up a tea towel, become the marae secretary, do funding applications, get involved. I just want to share this with you all. Last year, the year before, connected through Zoom, 8 of our maraes. We ended up getting 1.2 mil. For our maraes. This is what I did, mate. I did the Zoom huis, the recordings, the liaising with TPK, the minutes, the networks in Wellington, the funding application, engaged an independent financial controller. This is all that boring Wellington stuff that we learn how to do. Yeah. My whānau back home could do some of this, but I could do most of it. So that's what I did. So I just want to encourage you all. Sometimes those boring roles like marae secretary, those are the things you can do as a rangatahi. Put your hand up, get involved and do it. Because lots of our marae and our whānau need help back home. And I think it's also a good way at becoming grounded. And it is a project I want to get Tūhono involved in. So, you can't see this, but they're tar sealing a road here for our marae te tikanga. And I'm really, really proud of the solar panels on the wharekai. That's like a huge wharekai. We've got solar panels, and the aim is to generate energy back to the community. So it's all new ideas about how we're giving back to our whānau. Hey, mate, that's me. I've talked a long time. I'm not too sure what's going on because I haven't heard anything. But, yeah, kia ora koutou, kia ora tātou. And, if there's any questions, hene rangi koutou, kaya koutou.
Tūngane, he pātai āku. He pātai āku. Engari he mihi te tuatahi ki a koe. Mō tō tūpakari, tō tū āwhina, I te hunga rangatahi e poipoia ana I a koutou. Atawhai, when we first started in business, we went to you and you said to Kiwa and I tell you what, no one's going to give you an opportunity. They don't know you, but I know who you are and I know how to get to your family. And if you screw this up, you know that they will know about it. It was probably one of the greatest insights about tuakana taina that I had as a 26-year-old who had just left the public service to start, in our own waka. And you did give us our first opportunity. So I just want to mihi to you, mihi to the many roles that you've had across the public service and the many rangatahi that you have given that opportunity to, because you've used whanaungatanga to go to the dark side, I'll just say. Atawhai, you are now leading Tūhono and you're bringing rangatahi, tuakana and taina together. What has been some of your biggest insights so far?
I mean, I think we have to remind ourselves all the time that rangatahi are trying their best to be the best they can. They're busy. They live lives differently than maybe you and I lived hinerangi. And I think it's just be there, manaki. Try to listen as much as you can and bring opportunity to them, because what I'm impressed with in terms of Te Whanganui-a-Tara and the rangatahi I see, amazing skills, wicked qualifications. But I do notice a lot of them, they have not as strong ties to their iwi or to their marae as you might hope. So the challenge, hinerangi, is how we connect them, how we tūhono them, because as you know, hinerangi, our people back home need help.
So Atawhai, Kiri Kowhai left a challenge and she said, ale, fail, jail, and do we restart or do we fix? And I wonder if we're, because you said when you're young, maybe you don't challenge because you're learning your craft. When do you start challenging? And actually, what can we do to create a korowai for our rangatahi who actually need to start challenging sooner rather than perpetuating systems that don't work for us? What do you think?
I mean, first of all, I got three words that came to my mind when she said, is it fail, ale, jail? And the first is, I think, gift, uplift, and shift. So to me, I think whether we like it or not, we should, when I say gift, we should give people the respect of listening, of trying to empathize and understand as much as possible. I know that's really, really hard for people in Wellington who don't come from a Māori background because they don't really understand us. But I do see that as our role, our rangatahi role, being that bridge and interpreter, because, hinerangi, te ao Māori is a very complicated, it's not a simple thing. I look at our whānau down at the protest, there's lots of them down there, and they're still our whānau. So there's no simple ways. But I think gift, I think uplift, I think we have to work as much as possible to, uplift te ao Māori and enable te ao Māori. And shift to me is we've got to shift that power. And power is rangatiratanga, it's resource, it's control. So in terms of rangatahi, I mean, what I do appreciate about the rangatahi, they do have a different lens on things. And I think it's important that we listen to that. I think it's also important that we have an exchange and a discussion, because I don't think all the lessons of the past are wasted. So we have to find a way to have a good dialogue. So that's what I'd say, hinerangi. Is the tech working, mate, or are we breaking in and out?
We're doing great. I think it's actually the ihi, the wehi, the wana that's making us shake it. We're all good. We're all good.
Okay.
Well, ngā mihi ki a koe, AT, and I hope you're staying for the rest of the day, and we'll be in the chat and people can pātai the pātai to you. I'm sure that there are some pātai that will come, and tēnā no koe e te tūngani.